Hello, and welcome again to Small Scale Chatter. I'm sure everyone's sick of seeing me now. I've seen it so many times in the last fortnight. Hello, Frankie. Hello, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. Tired. Amazingly tired, but good. Yes,
I
I'm
think that's
fine.
just a general state now.
Yes, I think so. Yes, so we are Small Scale Chatter. We are a miniatures hobby community web show and podcast. And you can find us and support us at patreon.com/geekgirlbookworm. I'm putting a link in the chat now for anyone who doesn't know who we are. Come and join us from as little as £2 a month. You can help with the podcast. We're currently working towards the first goal, which is to allow me to get a paid Podbean subscription so that I can upload more hours of more hours of podcasting, plus do like live video uploads on there and things like that. So it'd be really, really cool if you can help out. And every other week, every fortnight, normally, apart from the last one, which went crazy, I have a wonderful human being who comes on and talks about something really cool within the miniatures community. Today, I have Frankie from Frankie's Tabletop Tinkering. Frankie, tell us a bit about yourself. Woo!
As guest, I am Frankie. I'm not actually a human being. I was dropped down to Earth in a little alien pod. And yeah, they just adopted me as one of their own. I am a library manager by day, and by night, when I should be sleeping, I'm making things. So that's tabletop gaming themed things, mini things. I've taken up knitting as well, so that's taking up my time because I lead such a wild life. And yeah, and then I decided to turn it into a business, so that happened.
Yeah. Excellent. Woo! So if anyone's wondering what business is this, there's a link coming up in the chat. So it's over on etsy.com/shop/tabletop tinkering. Head on over there for really cool things. Hobo Make says can confirm. I'm guessing that's from our always tired comment. Yeah. I think that's it. Hello, Hobo Makes. Welcome.
Hobo Makes on blast. He's my convention buddy. He helps me man my stalls.
Excellent. Oh, and we're going to be talking about conventions and such later on. And hello, Paul, as well. Nice to have you back in the chat. Excellent. Well, shall we start this little fireside chat?
Let's dive into it.
Let's go. Pew. Okay, so you mentioned that your sort of evenings are spent making things that you decided to turn into a business. So that can be pretty scary. You have to put the things that you make on display for the public to see and judge. Tell us a little bit about how you started out and actually why you decided to take that leap.
I first started my Etsy shop back in 2012. And back then, you think my shop name is long-winded now. It used to be Madame Frank Reich's Whimsical Emporium. And then I thought, not that catchy, actually. But I started that because I made myself a pair of earrings with Tyrannid rippers. Adorable little things. And my friend said to me they would sell. And they did. And then after a while, I pulled them thinking, oh, no, actually, there might be copyright infringement. Let's not do that. But I started making other little bits and bobs and putting them on there. And it sort of went very well for a little while. 2012, trying to work out how long ago. So I was in my early 20s. And I got a little map and I was putting pins in the map of where my orders were going. I was getting maybe one a month. It was exhilarating. And then I sort of took a break for a couple of years. I got into the library service and I focused on my career a bit. And then I started having ideas again and they sort of all happened. And again, people were like, you should sell this. I was like, yeah, I should. I've got some savings to do. So that's what happened. And it's been fantastic ever since. It's within the last 2 years that I really relaunched.
Yeah, I've enjoyed like watching it on like Twitter, just like the little things happening and then like more happening, and it's been really nice to watch it sort of blossoming. So, what's your favorite product that you have on Etsy at the moment?
Oh, my
I'm going to
favourite
make
product,
you choose.
and I know you've got a picture of it stored, ready to go.
I'm ready.
But
I'm
I've
ready.
also got one. Oh, where am I sitting?
Yay!
Oh,
this dude here.
this little dude. So that picture isn't actually on Etsy itself. I kept wanting this packaging to be a surprise. So what these are, there we go. They are completely vegan soaps. I designed them for sensitive skin because I've got problems with that myself, and it's such a pain to get nice soaps that don't cost the world. And just as a little extra incentive, they've got soap in them. So I've got my one here.
Oh, he's so
And
cute.
I designed the packaging just as a nice little extra bonus. And the best part about these is both the lavender oil and the little lavender, I don't actually know what they're called, seeds, pods, whatever they are, buds. Yeah, they all come from my own garden when I planted a tiny little lavender plant one day. And all of a sudden there's about 10 of them and there's no room for anything else in my garden. So please buy these soaps so I can have my garden back. But
they're also my favourite thing, I think.
I love them.
Yeah, they're so cute.
They smell so good.
People are saying they are so cute, Bluebell. They are very, very cute. I like them a lot. I imagine they've been quite popular during the pandemic with this
They have, yes.
need to clean our hands more.
Yeah, I have been pushing them more during this because obviously it's so important everyone's staying safe. And if I can give just that little extra incentive of maybe getting some nice click clacks at the end of it, yes, I'm doing my bit because they are antibacterial, so they're good for that. And it's really hard to get antibacterial soap that's good for sensitive skin. Oh, God. Comments are flying in.
Yeah, it's
the
nice
mimics as well. Yeah, I would say the mimics are probably my second favorite product. They're quite labor intensive, is the only thing.
They're like the dice cases, aren't they? Are
yes.
they dice cases? Yeah. Or boxes that you can put anything in. But I
keep dice in them. Dice, spell cards, minis, that sort of thing. So they probably take about 8-ish hours each to make in between drying times.
Yeah.
Because each layer takes a good 24 hours to dry. So I only do a few of them at a time. They're actually my favorite thing to make, but because they're so labor intensive and sometimes I just don't have the spoons, I only list a couple at a time online.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Nice limited sort of special edition thing that people, if they're quick, they can snap it up.
Yep,
I like
pun intended.
Yes. Oh, hi. I'm so funny. So how has lockdown been for you, both for you personally and also for the business? Like, how's it going?
It was really hard at the start and has continued to be because I got engaged a couple of years ago, and then the first full year I would have had with my fiance, lockdown happened and we don't live together, which is why I'm saving. Every single penny from the shop goes into my savings account or into every couple of months or so I do donate 10% of my sales to a place called Tony's Place. It's an LGBTQIA plus youth center in Houston, Texas. Sorry, American friends. And I discovered them when all the power outages happened. And thought, okay, I can do a little bit to help here. And they're sort of a place where, sorry, I've gone off topic here.
No, this is wonderful.
They're a place where at-risk youth from all of the LGBTQIA spectrum can go. Sometimes they help them put them up in like motels and things like that. And then I supported them again last month with the bill coming out that was affecting people so much. So yeah, that's where the profit from my shop goes, to help me with my future home and hopefully to help them have a little bit of a home. So it was nice in lockdown to have that money coming in because I was lucky enough for the first part of lockdown to be working from home. I was set lots of online training and things like that to do. And then I went back into working within the libraries from June onwards last year, open and close to some capacity to the public to offer what we could. So during those first few months where I was stuck completely at home, it was fantastic. Sort of, I would have been having probably full-day depression naps if I hadn't had the business to sort of keep me going. Because I couldn't see, just like everyone else, I couldn't see my friends, I couldn't go to work. So I was like, but I can order supplies online and create so much stuff that no one in my house can move. And I live with my mum and my sister, and I'm very lucky that they're so patient that my stuff has the gelatinous cubes have overrun the house.
Opening cupboards and there's just one staring at you. I love it.
And with the UK's post office drop and go service, I was able to label them up, literally drop them at the door of the post office, so I didn't even have to go in. So I was getting my daily walk going out there. Oh, I'm really glad you liked them, Jenny Solberg.
Come back again. That's nice. Hey.
So yes, you did. So yeah, she did make a small space for me. So yeah, I was really lucky to have the business during lockdown, and it flourished enough that I was able to sort of refresh the brand a little bit, which I think you might be.
Oh yeah, I feel like you've read my notes. This is very good. So yes, tell us a bit more about the rebrand then. So you mentioned a little bit about it. Tell us what was the sort of the thinking behind it, because it's been a really lovely rebrand as well. It's beautiful, and I'm going to show the logo in a bit. But yes, tell us a little bit more.
So I was able to put a little bit of money aside from last Christmas's sales, and I thought this is actually starting to take off. I should probably be slightly official, because I think for everything I was just using a picture of one of the miniatures I painted, which was lovely, but I wanted people to know it was me. And so I was like, okay, I want something really bright, something really bubbly, something like a little bit quirky, quite vibrant. And then earlier in this year, I collaborated on the Dreadful Realms Kickstarter with Law and Kat.
Mm-hmm.
Dreadful Realms is a sort of very grim, dark, subterranean D&D 5e supplement. It's a wonderful book all in itself, and they approached me to come and make dice bags for it with cute little purple bats on.
Oh, cute.
And sort of I got to know them a little bit better through that, and I was seeing a lot of Law's artwork coming out and thought I really like their style. So I approached them, and yeah, it sort of went from there. First I gave them a brief sort of, maybe I'll have something chibi, maybe something pastel. I hadn't quite had my mindset on anything. So I sort of left it with them, and I loved the result. There we go. So that's one of the mimics I was talking about, with its little beady orange eyes and its little fangs.
It's cute.
And you can see one of my Jelly Cube friends there, and one of the 5th edition health potions kits I do, which are also on the Etsy's.
Yay.
And yeah, it all just came out really nicely.
And you've got stickers, which are...
Oh, I love them so much.
Yes. I have one on my wet palette upstairs. It's like, yay. It's like my...
The second it came in, I thought, I need nice holographic stickers. And I slapped them on everything that does move, everything that doesn't move. I think my dog's afraid of me at this point.
Come back, Papa. I saw this where you're doing like if people have stickers as well, to do like sticker swaps, and that's really fun as well. I enjoy that.
Yeah, if you're in the nerdy or tabletop RPG or war games industry and you want to swap stickers, just let me know and I'll put one in the post for you. I have currently adorned my work notebook with stickers from other companies like Fenris Games.
Yeah.
I think I've got one of Annie's floating about somewhere that I need to put on there, but I haven't yet. Sorry, Annie. And Mythical Studios and a few others. So all my colleagues look at my work notebook and go, what does all that mean?
What is it? Oh, I've got a couple of like ones I can probably send you, not mine, but like I get some from Murder Dice Podcast. They always send me 2. So I always stick one, and then I've got a spare. I'm going to send you some, and you can.
They've got Patreon, haven't they? I keep meaning to subscribe to that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
Chat,
so-
hold me to that. Or Mr. Murder Dice, wherever you are. Hold me to that after this.
They're lovely, those. They are the sweetest. But yeah, they send me stuff, and I've got loads of doubles, so yeah, I can send some. Yay.
Oh, it's like trading Pokemon cards.
Yeah. Gotta catch them all.
I'll swap you a murder dice for a tabletop tinkering.
Yes. So as well as the rebrand, we going to see you at any I'm going to use in real life shows that I don't know if they're going to happen, but there's hope that by later on, by the fall, people will be vaccinated and ready to see other humans.
Oh God, humans, that's a terrifying prospect.
It really is. I'm both excited for the idea, but also scared.
I've got to the point where I'm kind of used to just my own company now.
Yes.
This is probably the most I've talked to someone in months. No, I have previously only done one convention. I went to WinterCon, which is a local one to me in Eastbourne, Sussex, England. And that was a good experience. It was just when I was first restarting it as Frankie's Tabletop Tinkering. And I was very lucky to have some help from some wonderful people. Jay from Lizards of the Host, he's an author. He's at Raphaelin on Twitter. I'll link him on my Twitter at some point. He made me a little banner, which was very nice, very helpful. My friend Hobo Makes in the chat came and helped me at the stall. And that went quite nicely, in so much so that I didn't really have a lot left by day 2 because I was not anticipating being so popular. So obviously that didn't happen last year with everything. They're scheduled to do again it's on Halloween.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I know. So I'm going to be vending there, fingers crossed, assuming I'm fully vaccinated by then. And they've been working so hard on security measures. They're going to have a whole one-way system going. There's going to be hand sanitizer every single step you take. There's going to be shields all over the place. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I upgraded this year. Year before, I just had a little table. This year, it's in the Eastbourne Winter Gardens, and I've ordered an alcove with my own map, so you can come into the Franken cave. Browse the wares. I'll be like a little Khajiit. Frankie has wares if you have coin.
I love it.
We've got all sorts of plans for that. Obviously, everything's going to be purple and black.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. There's a couple of con exclusive products I make. You might have seen them. They're like ram or tiefling horns. Yes, usually on braid, which I'm looking forward to making this year because I have recently attained an airbrush. Been spritzing paint everywhere, so I'm looking forward to getting a smoother finish on them, and lots of lovely flowers and stuff like that. And there's a couple of other little bits and bobs that you'll only be able to get at WinterCon.
Oh, that is exciting. Oh, well, I'm very excited for you. I'm going to keep all fingers, toes, and eyeballs crossed for that one.
I have a new idea about it almost every night, and then I'm like, it's not till the end of October.
Yeah, but it will sneak up on you really quick.
It will.
Yeah. I remember whenever I've done a show and it's like, oh, I'll be fine, and it's like all of a sudden it's like 3 weeks before and you're like, it's not fine. Yeah, because currently, we're planning for UK Games Expo, and that's the big one in Birmingham. Yes.
Well, I'll come and join you one day.
It's exhausting. It's my favourite show, but it's exhausting. Like, I need a week off afterwards for it.
Bit of a trip for me.
Yes. I'm only 45 minutes away. You can stay on my sofa.
Yeah.
I also have a bed up. I have a spare bed upstairs. So yeah, you can stay over. Yay! Oh, that'd be fun. Oh, so what are your long-term goals for Tabletop Tinkering?
I think I've got an idea that a lot of people do. I would absolutely love to be a full-time creator for my shop, for things like social media, bringing out like fun character concepts and plot hooks and things like that. That's not something I've delved into yet, but I'm thinking about doing so. Realistically, who knows?
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I'm going to continue using what the money I managed to earn to save, so that I can, when we got our own place, hassle my other half into letting me have one of the bedrooms as an office. No, he already knows. I'm going to have a craft room. It's going to be the Frankie's Tabletop Tinkering headquarters. Yeah. Sorry, Hobo Makes, for messaging you all the time with new Wintercon ideas.
Yeah, I must say, like having a space for crafting is
absolutely
best thing. Yeah, I have the room at the front of my house is just for like having a permanent setup. That's like,
yes,
you can just sit down and be like, okay, I'm going to paint for like an hour, and I haven't had to spend 40 minutes putting everything up and ready in the place, providing that I tidied it before I went the last time, which is
what is
sometimes
tidy?
I don't do.
I don't know that concept. No, as much as I live and breathe hobby, it would be nice to have a space dedicated to it so it doesn't consume every single. There we go. That's my partner that just popped up in chat. He's already agreed to me having a hobby room.
Excellent.
Yeah. So that's the next step. Get an office.
Yes. So Hobo Mate says, what is the project you've always wanted to create and are yet to get to?
Oh, that's an interesting one. So there's physical things. Much like yourself, I've been thinking about getting into doing just local print and paint commissions of things like people's tabletop RPG characters. Again, I'll probably only do that in local circles, but there's that on the physical side. On the sort of not physical side, I can't words. I'm not good at words, guys.
What is words?
How do I words? I've been dipping my toes into not voice acting, but it's a strange. I've noticed that I always put on a persona when I'm playing as a character, and often those personas tend to be quite received pronunciation, quite English, very posh. And I was like, you know what? I really like Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. And so there's a little snippet on my Twitter feed already. I've always wanted to do a dramatic reading for it. So I think that's the next thing I'm aiming to do. Whether or not it comes to fruition or not, I was like, okay, I'm going to set myself a goal. If I get to 2K Twitter followers, I'll make myself do it.
Oh,
I know.
That's the goal, everyone.
1,700 odd or something.
Everyone, go to Frankie.
Maybe that will lead somewhere.
Yes, do it. I'm going to put a link to you in the chat now. Quick.
So that's the next project I'm working on. Get my Anycubic up and going so I can print other people's Hero Forge minis and Eldritch Foundry and whatever else they find. And yeah, maybe do a little dramatic reading. Talk about birds and stuff.
Yes. As you can see, my Anycubic is sitting on my sofa ready to be fixed because the LED screen is broken on it. I'm really scared. It's been broken
sad.
for a long time.
It genuinely looks very sad. I know how it feels.
Yeah, it needs to be clean as well. But yes, so everyone, go over, follow Frankie, and get her to 2K so we can hear that dramatic reading. Do it. Right. So, as well as a tinkering away on RPG themed goodies, you also paint miniatures.
I do.
Which is good. This is a miniatures community web show and podcast, so that makes sense.
We got to it 25 minutes in.
Yay! So tell us a little bit about how you got into that.
So when I was 15, I had a job at a laundry, and I took my very first paycheck over to my local games workshop, and I bought a box of Dark Elves and Cold Ones and a box of Daemonettes. I've always called them Daemonettes. I don't know why. Daemonettes. That's one of those things you always see it written before you hear it out loud, and it gets stuck. And I was like, yeah, these look really cool. They are badass as hell. So I took them up to the counter, and the person serving me said, "Oh, are these for your boyfriend?" And I went, "No, these are for me." And it sort of got me on this spiral, and I realised how few femme presenting individuals, or generally just not cis het males were in our community. And a lot of my friends are cis het males, but it was odd being in this environment where I was sort of the odd one out.
Yeah.
And I sort of got into painting at first, and then I found this stigma attached to wargaming and there's absolutely nothing wrong with just painting. You don't have to play. It's good for you. Painting is good for your mindfulness. It helps your manual dexterity develop. It's just generally very therapeutic. But I noticed there was this stigma locally around women only painting and not playing the game as well. So I got into the game. A few years later, the manager of Games Workshop at the time approached me and said, I need some bank staff, someone to cover when people are on holiday. And so that ended up happening, and I ended up working at my local Games Workshop, and that was really fun. It was really nice to sort of dive into the community there. When I only did a couple of Sundays every couple of months, but it was really nice to sort of run painting tutorials for kids, introduce people into sort of starter games. I can't even remember what starter set it was at the time. This was 2013, so not a clue. It was something to do with chaos. But yeah,
I was not painting at that time.
Yeah.
Didn't even know what war games were.
Yeah. I mean, I've been painting for 13 years now, and it started with those Daemonettes and Dark Elves and Cold Ones. I've got one of them here. No, not there. I dropped it. This was the very first mini that I ever painted. And I keep thinking about refacing him, and then thinking, no, this is Frankie's journey.
Yeah,
so
you need to always look back.
Podcast, yeah. It's it's a dark elf on a cold one. It's a little green dinosaur with a purple and gold dark elf and a spear on top. And
I love that even 13 years later, it's still very much your aesthetic with the colour palette.
I'm indifferent to purple. I don't know what you're talking about. She says in an entirely purple room. Yeah, and and then I was playing games, and then I started to find other miniature companies, and that was only within the last 5 years. And it started with Reaper Miniatures, which they're great quality, they're easily accessible, they're pretty cheap, they're really good starter minis. That was a starter set that came with the Chaos Warrior. It was the starter set that came with the Chaos Warrior, and the Cultist as well, I think. But yes, Reaper Minis, they're just really good. I was lucky enough to win a Reaper Learn to Paint set in a giveaway run by Anjuli herself. And that has been passed on to, or actually will be passed on to, two of my friends who are very talented budding artists. I'm gonna drag them into the hobby as soon as we can sit at a table together. Yes. And yeah, I just carried on painting from there, and I found sort of my niche, so to speak, because as a Games Workshop customer, I always veered towards in 40k at least Tyranids. I was like, okay, these are cool alien Xeno Geiger-esque creature Griblies. I can get behind that, and I can justify painting them purple. Yep. And it sort of spiraled from there. And recently, well, not recently actually, I've been in a bit of a hobby slump because of county council work commitments. But it has sort of taught me that it's okay to have that break. Your hobby worth is not determined by how productive you are. It's okay to put your paintbrush down, take a bit of time to yourself. Don't force yourself to do it. And then when you come back to it, you feel completely refreshed.
I 100% agree with this. Like at the beginning of lockdown, I had such a slump. Like I did not want to pick up my brushes. I had no inspiration at all. I'd look at things, be like, yeah, I want to paint that. And when I'd sit down, I'd be like, no, I don't. I don't know what colors to do it. I had like no mojo at all. And I kept feeling like I had to apologize to people, like people following me on social media who are like following you for the minis, and you're like, I'm really sorry that I'm not.
I'm getting that at the moment. Yeah. And the thing is, no one is expecting us to apologize, and I don't think they want us to apologize, but it's still just something in there. You're like, oh, I'm sorry. And that's where imposter syndrome comes in as well. And you think, are people communicating with me as a person or as an artist?
Yeah.
And it's the people that stick with you as a person that are really valuable. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. No, I agree. And I always, whenever someone like comes up on my Twitter feed, it's like, oh, I'm really sorry that I haven't been very like, you know, talking that much about my hobby or whatever it is. And I just want to be like, don't you apologize. You don't need to apologize to us. You get on and do your life. Like, that's cool. And then I know exactly the other way around. I'd be like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, Anjuli, come on. You know that people are just, you know, you don't need to apologize. But yeah, we always feel like we need to sort of say, real sorry that I've not been painting as much. But you know, if you don't have the spoons for it, like there's no point forcing it, because you're not going to enjoy it anyway. And if you don't enjoy it, why are you doing it?
Oh, we're back. Okay, it's all right.
Yeah. Oh, you have frozen a little bit. That's okay. Win. Right, Frankie is frozen. Frankie, you're back. No. Oh, Frankie is gone. Bear me a second. Well, it's just me for the moment while Frankie sorts out her camera. Hi, everyone. Have you got any questions for me whilst we're here? Yeah, that's a strange perception that we owe our followers content. Yeah, it's very, very strange.
There we go.
Frankie,
I'm back.
Excellent.
Excellent. Not sure what's going on there.
So I was going to have to carry this web show on my own.
It's okay. I was gonna wrap up my little spiel by saying the thing that helps me break out of a hobby sort of slump is just painting everything purple, to be honest. It's like, oh, that cloth would look really nice in purple. That hair would look really nice in purple. It does make me want to paint more cyberpunk stuff, actually, doing more sort of vibrant hair.
Yeah, I want to do some more sort of cyberpunk sci-fi stuff. I don't do a lot. It's mainly fantasy that I paint, because that's what people want their D&D characters to be. It's like, oh, I really want to do like non-metallic metals and things, but like in like really cool bright colors rather than just gold, silver. That's a thing on my list to try and still work on.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted to just work back just to the working in GW.
Yes.
For just a moment. So you mentioned GW is a very cis het male centric hobby still. Even now there are very much more women coming along, but until the bigger powers that be understand that we also have a wallet and we would like to spend money in their stores on things that are more looking like women or femme presenting. How was it working, like in the store, being femme presenting against beardy white guys?
Well,
like,
it's
I'm not
funny you should
asking
say
like
that.
flag off GW or anything like that, but like I just like as for you as a person, like for me, I've never until recently got into a GW store, because I feel very intimidated even as an outspoken, confident woman.
Even working there, I did. So as a company themselves, they were really good to work for. And I felt one of the beardy white guys I met there is actually not my fiance.
Oh, okay.
We originally met through Games Workshop and then went on to play Magic the Gathering together. But that's another story. So yeah, a lot of them I knew already through doing other things like Magic the Gathering, which is also quite a male-dominated, I was about to say profession, I suppose for some people it is, hobby. So I was quite lucky that they sort of welcomed me with open arms, but I did find occasionally people could be quite condescending about, for example, if I didn't know a rule, they're like, oh, you work here, you should know that. It's like, but not everyone knows every single rule in the book. People work in different ways. I'm sure they didn't know every single rule in the book. No. Anyway, besides the point, rule of cool is better than rule of written.
Definitely, 100%. Oh, I'm gonna get that as a soundbite because I need that. I have so many arguments when it comes to like doing Blackstone Fortress.
Yeah.
Rule
It's like,
of
what's
cool.
that? You want to cannonball yourself over the keep?
Yep.
Roll for it. Which also applies to other hobbies. But no, I was quite lucky. But even so, it did feel quite isolating because there were days where you're sort of chatting with the guys and having a good laugh about stuff, and then they'd sort of, it felt very much like a boys' club. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about it, but I think it's important for people to feel welcome in there. And that's why it meant so much when kids came in for painting lessons, when I did a tutorial session for a bunch of teenage girls, and that was probably my best working day there. That was so fun. So if you, as a cis white male, have a femme presenting friend or non-binary friend or a trans friend who might be interested in that sort of thing but doesn't feel comfortable going, maybe bring it up to them. Say, would you be interested in going here if I came along to support you? Because the thing that's going to make people accept you is seeing one of their own is sort of going in with you, and it will open that conversation. Because I think a lot of the time they're as intimidated by you as you are of them. So,
and like for me, it's like because the shops are so open, like, and if you go in a time where it's not busy, and you walk in, and then the sales clerks turn to you like, "What game do you want? What are you looking for? What are you into?" And you're like, "I don't know. I just paint."
Opening a long coat and there's just minis inside it.
You wanted some AOS? AOS, yeah, you like that? Like, no, I don't know.
I still can't wrap my head around it being AOS now and not Warhammer Fantasy.
Yeah.
That's how out of date I am.
I only came into it like this year, so like I haven't. I've only started playing some games. I'm terrible at all of them, and I'm just like the worst loser. So like no one wants to play with me because
I'm hyper competitive.
I don't know the rules, and then
I'm the epitome of salt.
I do not like to lose.
But talk to your friends. Go in when it's safe and everyone's vaccinated and it's safe to go out properly. Don't just go out recklessly. Take your other nerdy friends in there. Make them feel like part of the community. Get everyone in there. Make it more diverse.
And if you live near Nottingham, we should all do a Warhammer World Day when it's allowed. Yes.
That's the goal.
I like Warhammer World. It's nice.
I've still never
been. Bob and Spar.
I've worked for them and I've not been. It's a travesty.
Yes. I was very sad when that closed for the lockdown. It's like, no, but I'm just starting to like this. Right, let's move away from GW. What's your favourite model to paint? Don't say a GW one.
No, so my favourite, I don't have like a favourite model, but I have a favourite type of model. And I guess it was kind of heralded by the cold ones and the demonettes, and the tyranids. I prefer to paint sort of like organic things. So I like painting skin. I love the sort of range of depth you can get when painting skin tones. I really like making the skin tones diverse and representative of the community as a whole. I think one of favourite minis I've probably painted, actually, and I don't have it with me, is a Fire Giantess, one of Reaper Mini's ones. And I was able to get such rich, deep tones in that. I was really pleased with it. But yeah, I like painting skin, fur, hair, just anything sort of more organic. I think it probably came from when I first learned to paint. I didn't actually realize washes existed for probably about 5 years. And when I did find them, it changed the game for me. But until then, I found dry brushing straight away. I was mostly self-taught. And back in my day, we didn't have the YouTubes and all those tutorials. No, but yeah, I got the hang of dry brushing very quickly, and I found those were the things that picked it up the best. And I found that when you were doing like quite a model mini with a large face, if you dry brushed it, it picked out the highlights. And then I started watching things like makeup tutorials, and I found that if you dry brush over a mini to pick up the details, and then you go in and pick out the points you would see in a makeup tutorial. So if it's a humanoid face, that would be the sort of T-zone, the triangles under the eyes, tip of the nose, and the chin. And I found all that was really helpful, and I absolutely love painting faces. And quite unusually, I really like painting eyes.
That is unusual.
And I don't actually use the brush for it. I have it filed down a cocktail stick, so there is one single strand, like fiber of the wood sticking out, and I use that for dotting eyes.
I cheat and I use an extra fine waterproof black marker.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's not cheating if you get the right results.
It's like dot, done, win. I'll leave that.
Or just stick a pair of googly eyes on it.
Yes, I mean everything is better with googly eye. Can you imagine that? Just like painting the minis and at the end just like googly eyes, send it off, commission done.
What's the new most popular Games Workshop one? Is it Belcore?
Yes.
I think the big demon prince, him with a set of googly eyes on. Mwah, chef's kiss.
Yeah. Also, Panamanian Miniature says, same. Everyone thinks I'm weird because I like faces and eyes.
It just pulls the mini together so well.
Yes. Yeah.
You can have done the bottom half in just contrast paint and a dream, and then you do the face, and it's suddenly a mini.
Yeah. And that's sort of like, because we recognize faces, like you can always see if like an eye is just slightly that little bit wonky because it then doesn't look quite as you expect it to be. Yeah, it's very strange way our brains work, but it's
Has anyone asked you what your favorite bit is to paint?
Oh, what my favorite thing is to paint?
Yeah.
Oh, I have been enjoying doing skin on like busts and things. That's something that I've been working on this year. It's just getting a nicer skin blending on larger scale things. I quite like painting cloaks that have got like a lot of ripples in them. Yeah, I like to get that like nice blend of the light hitting the cape and getting the nice dark shadows in it. I think that's probably something I really like. I don't like painting metallics. I never get it to like look right. I want to learn non-metallic metals, but yeah, when I'm lazy, I just put some metallic over it, and then like just never looks. I'm not a big fan of that, but you have to. What are you looking to learn, if anything? I've mentioned non-metallic metals. Is there any sort of technique that you think that's the next thing I need to nail?
That's definitely something I want to get into at some point. I'm fairly comfortable with how I am with am I reverbing? Or am I okay?
No, you're okay at my end, yeah.
Okay. I'm fairly comfortable with doing reasonably decent one source lighting now, OSL.
Yeah.
Which for those of you that don't know what that is, it's where you sort of get a glow on a mini from a light source. So if you've got like a little dude holding up a torch or something and it shines down on his face at a certain angle, or maybe lava shining up from underneath. I've got quite comfortable doing that. Non-metallic metals is definitely on the list. And I really want to get better to grips with my airbrush. I've been working on a Titan for a friend, an Eldar Warlock Titan, and it was almost ready to send off. And then I got the airbrush and I thought, I'm going to strip half of the bottom here and I'm going to redo it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yep. So I've been learning how to airbrush as well. So I'm hoping to better that within this year.
Yeah. Yeah, and the airbrush is like a completely new talent. Like I know people are going, "Oh, it's cheating," and it's like it's not. It's like you have to learn a completely different way of painting miniatures because you got to learn the control over the spray and where it's going, where it's not going. Yeah,
and the maintenance of the tool itself.
Yes, mine. I had got a little mini one. I clogged it within 5 seconds, and I haven't fixed it yet. I'm like, man, okay, that was £10, friend. Got like one of the ones used for like foundation.
Oh God,
that'll do.
So, if I manage to master it, my mum's going to go out to her car one day and they'll, the really 80s like unicorns and wizards and things on the side of vans. She'll go out in her car, it'll just be like that. I'm sorry, Mum, I'm going to change the logbook now.
I love it. That's the best. So we mentioned that like a lot of the stuff that you paint is for like RPGs, so D&D characters and Pathfinder characters. Have you got a home game or any D&D or any RPGs going at the moment?
We've got a multitude of home games.
Home games. Okay.
Home games going. I don't have a gay at home. We're playing a Vampire the Masquerade campaign set in Louisiana, which we don't use miniatures for, but is great fun. I'm playing a Tremere called Leonie. The name came from my grandmother who passed a couple of years ago, and I found out her middle name was Leonie, and I didn't know that before. And I was like, "Oh, that's a nice name. I'm going to use it, even if you didn't like it."
Yep. It's nice.
It is, isn't it? So I'm finding that really fun. It's nice to use a different system. I primarily play 5th edition. It's sort of what I got into locally, but I'm looking to branch out into stuff a bit more. My current 5th edition campaign is a homebrew. My fiance is the DM, and the basis of the plot is we are all dragons in disguise. We can morph into humanoid forms. In a world that's full of dragons, our mission is to try and bring diplomacy so that dragons aren't feared anymore. So my character Erin, they are a elven grave cleric, which is great fun.
Yes, I played a grave cleric.
Healing for you and healing for you, and what's that? You fell down, not anymore. And that's been very therapeutic for me because as well as getting to explore other ends of the identity spectrum because they identify as non-binary, I discovered when I opened my mouth for the first time to speak as the character, that I came out with a stutter. And at first it was me just stumbling over my words. But as a younger child, I had a bit of a stutter, and it sort of resurfaced a bit then. And I used to get teased mercilessly about it. And it was kind of nice to bring that back to a table by accident, where it was welcomed and it became sort of a characteristic of my character that people really enjoyed. So it was really nice to turn that sort of, negative childhood thing into a nice sort of aspect on the table. So that's the campaign I've got going on at the moment. I've got my eye on several board games that a lot of them do have minis in, that I want to play with my friends as soon as I can. I got well stuck into Kickstarter early last year because I was doing nothing but sitting at home. And I bought Awful Orphanage, which looks quite good. I bought the Munchkin dungeon game, and the minis for that are really fun. They're sort of very cartoon. They're in the style of Munchkin. They're very cartoony. The range Russ Charles brought out with Steamforge Gaming, Dungeons & Doggos.
Yes.
Yep, I've got all of them, and I cannot wait to paint them up. And one that's yet to arrive is it's called Dinos Riding Dodos. And it's what it sounds like. It's little chibi dinosaurs running around riding dodos, trying to sort of conquer and build their own little civilizations. And that's going to come with minis. And I'm really excited for it because I absolutely love dinosaurs.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
I bought loads of minis, board games in February last year.
Yep.
Because Asmodee had a big sale on. And I was like, staff sale, yep, buy it all. It's going to be amazing. I'm in my new house, going to make loads of friends, we're going to have board game parties, it's going to be so cool.
and then it all...
The day it arrived, I was like, oh, I guess these are going to go in that pile over there.
Yeah. So my little chaos crew, who I used to meet on Wednesdays, I've got little board games to play when we can all meet up again.
Yep. Oh, I'm looking forward to board games again. That will be, good fun. So you mentioned earlier on and also just now about RPGs and also painting being sort of a great therapy outlet. and a
Oh,
great way to sort of relive things but put a positive sort of spin on them. So I'm guessing that a lot of people, probably because they've been in lockdown, have got into RPGs for this reason. Like, why, from your own sort of experiences, like, why do you think like RPGs in general are just this great outlet for that?
They bring a really great combo of a way to channel your experiences in a way that you know can be resolved. So potentially past traumas. If you're at a table with a good DM and you want to bring those things up, they can sort of talk you through it, and you can maybe find some sort of closure with that. But so there's that side of it, but there's also like combined escapism. So it's being able to channel and sort of think about your issues in a different way, literally through someone else's eyes. And then you get to do stuff like be a dragon.
Yeah.
It's like fighting mental health and a dragon seems like a win to me.
Yes. Yeah, I've really enjoyed like the ability to like explore sexuality and sort of gender roles and things, because like before I started playing RPGs, I always sort of just assumed I was just a straight woman, obviously. Like, but then being able to role play with other people and play different types of character, sort of came to the conclusion, actually, like, I'm a pansexual woman. Like, I don't.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't, like, to me it's boy, girl, dragon. Like, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I like that probably wouldn't have come to light for me without being able to play different characters who had different experiences within their storytelling worlds.
Yeah, and it's really refreshing to see our friends do things like that as well, because someone I play with sometimes, they sort of picked up on using appropriate pronouns through playing tabletop games, because I've got my non-binary cleric. It sort of helped train them to use correct pronouns, in this case they them, but obviously it's according to the individual, and it's sort of nice training for out there.
Yeah, definitely. And especially for people who maybe don't think that they're in that type of circle of different genders, that they just assume everyone is just cishet going around everywhere. To put them in a situation where they have to then think about the way that they perceive the world as well is also a good thing for the table, I think.
So what we're saying is make your gaming more gay.
Make your gaming more gay. Like, I mean, just make everything more gay. That's all we need. Just like more gay everything. Like, get your war games but make them gay. Like, that's all I'm asking for.
We're slowly getting there with war games. There's male presenting models in as revealing outfits as the female presenting ones these days. We're slowly getting there.
Slowly getting there. And we can just get the female ones wearing less revealing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not about the men wearing less clothes. We would like the ladies with more clothes.
Yeah. We're getting there. Bang on enough doors and hopefully. Right, so this is the section where if anyone's got any questions for us, please pop them in the chat now. I've had a couple that have come through on social media, so I'll ask you those ones while we wait and see if there's any questions for the chat. One question was, what is your favorite RPG to play?
Oh, it's actually a homebrew. So when it's closed now, but when I was going to my local game store, and there's a few others that I need to explore, we were doing a Elder Scrolls themed RP, and it was completely done on D6s. My partner came up with the system. We ran a short campaign of it that was sort of more a dungeon delve type campaign to work out the tweaks in the system, and then we started playing a full campaign of it, and it's a really fun system. And my character became the Dragonborn, so I mean, can't get much cooler than that, can it?
No, definitely not. That's very cool. Yeah, I mean, my favorite Tales from the Loop. I love their very, very simple D6 dice pool, and the GM doesn't roll any dice and just is there for the story, and that is magical. I also really like Modiphius's 2D20 Conan system.
Okay, I've not used that.
It's it's the opposite way around. So 20's 20's bad, one's good. Oh no. That's something else. So basically you have your big highs and your lows, and you're just rolling 2d20s each time, and you're trying to get good marks. But the way that the tree branches, so you don't have to just you don't start with like a class. You're just a person, and you might have an idea. Oh, I'd quite like to be a bit of a thief. I'd quite like to be a pirate, and you follow different trees like you would in a video game where you have different branches, like in Skyrim and things. You put your points into certain things, and that's what they do with this. So you can be a thief who maybe put most of their points into being a thief, but you can also have, a bit of sword and shield fighting, and you can have a bit of being a diplomat, a politician type stuff. So you're quite charming as well, and you can mix and match your tree however you sort of want, as long as you've got the points to spend in it. And I really liked that sort of way of building your character, because no two characters were the same. So even if you started the same, by the time you got to sort of the midway point, you've gone off in two different sort of tangents completely. You could all be pirates or be thieves, but you'd all be completely different thieves, because the experiences that you want would differ. And
I like that. That kind of sort of defies the stereotypes that certain classes and things sort of build up, like, oh, the rogue is always the edgy one, and the bard is always the openly promiscuous one, and it's sort of, that sounds really good. It sort of helps break that and make them more of a person rather than a persona.
Yeah, and you get like these points as well. So you get sort of inspiration points that you use you can either use yourself, or you can pull into the middle. And when it comes to big fight scenes, you can spend those points to do like really cool moves or extra moves and things. It's like a list of things you can do. But at the same time, whenever you fail a roll, the GM gets these like doom points.
Oh no!
They can get up to 20 of them, which they can also spend at any time they want in order to inflict doom at you. And so you're trying to like be the best, and if you mess up real bad, then the DM's just like has this massive pile of D20s that they can roll and spend at any point to ruin your day. And that's a really fun mechanic for it as well, because as players you only get 6 as a whole table, but the DM can have like up to 20. So it's like,
my, how the turns have tabled.
Yes. Okay, another question. What's your favorite miniature that you've ever painted?
Oh, I think I mentioned it earlier, I think it's probably the fire giantess I painted. And that was because of the paint job. I was really happy with how it turned out.
The big, like she's holding like the big
that's
thing.
The one. And she's got like a big ponytail, and she's got these really cool like chunky plate boots on. Which was actually a bit of plate armor I didn't mind painting, because I sort of got to make it all rusty and cool and give it a bit of texture.
Yeah, she's got a nice cape on her and things. Yeah.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, I liked that one a lot. That was And Hobo Makes asks, what are your top tips for painting small details such as faces and eyes?
So I would say, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but genuinely, go watch some makeup tutorials. They will show you how sort of the highlights and planes of the face are best complemented. And it was how I learned how to do faces. Invest in a good brush or whittle down a cocktail stick for the eyes, like I did. And make sure your elbow's supported. That's probably the most important thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, have a steady sort of elbows on the table, and because otherwise you're just going to go flip.
Yeah. Oh, and mix up your skin tones as well. Don't just paint the same skin tone all the time.
Yeah.
Because we see a lot of pasty Caucasian minis, and it would be really nice to see more diversity.
Definitely. Yes. Right. Do you have anything else to plug here, Frankie? This is your moment to be like, do the things, buy the stuff.
I think that's about most of it, to be honest. I've got my Etsy shop.
Which I'm going to put links now.
Yeah, you kindly linked already. So that's Tabletop Tinkering on Etsy. Please help free my family from the avalanche of goods that I've created. I'm sure they would be most grateful. You can find me on Twitter at Tabletop Tinker. You can find me on I changed my Instagram recently and can't remember what it is right now. So it's the same type of branding though. So you can probably find me if you just search Tabletop Tinkering.
Yes, do that. Yes.
Yeah, do that. And also, there's this lovely lady called Anjuli, and you should probably check out her shop. She genuinely didn't pay me to say this, but several years ago, me and her both took part in a gift exchange. She came visited my house, and it just so happened that she was my secret Santa type gift exchange. I've got one of other side. I've got one of her minis up here still, and a lovely deck of many things floating about.
Oh yes. Oh.
Yeah, that's it for me.
That's just the wonder of Twitter, is that, like, we knew each other just from talking to each other about miniatures and painting and RPGs, and then it's from there.
And then we were eating Domino's.
Yeah, and then we're eating Domino's pizza, and I'm falling asleep, and your dog is jumping on me and scaring the life out of me. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I don't live until that. Well, at that time, I didn't live with a dog. I didn't know that those things happened. She's a good papa, though. Well, it is at the point where I have to thank my patrons for being so awesome and amazing and supporting this web show and podcast weird adventure that I decided to take on in 2021. So I would like to thank Timo and Tim and Brannon and Charlotte and Chris and Miss Games and Cerberus Studios, Ben, Davey, Frankie's Tabletop Tinkering, Gav, Hanno, Louis, Dreaming in Red, Bob, Paul, Richard, Silverglass, One Sick Bunny, Anton, and Liam. You are all awesome, amazing people who I adore. And thank you so much for helping me and supporting me with this. You can as well, if you want to, support me by going to patreon.com/geekgirlbookworm. For as little as £2 a month, you can help out and help us get to that first goal and help me to get a paid Podbean subscription so we can do cool things with the podcast. The link is in the chat. As always, thank you very much for coming along, for listening. Thank you, chat, for asking cool questions and being nice and chatty. It's nice to see people talking to each other in the chat. Thank you very much, Paul, for coming on. This is awesome. Thank you. Really enjoyed the chat. Yay. Wonderful. And thank you, Frankie, for agreeing to come along, hang out with me for an hour.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, sorry it turned out so long. Wasn't it only supposed to be half an hour?
Well, so I said half an hour when I started, but not a single one has ever been more, less than 50 minutes. So I'm saying it's an hour-long podcast now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I can't get it all in 30 minutes. There's just too many amazing things to talk about.
Thank you for having me in your virtual house.
Yay! Welcome to my living room. At some point, I will get a nice screen to go in the back, so no one has to see my sad broken 3D printer. Hide. None of that. Hello. Yes.
I believe that the cool kids say mood.
Yeah, mood indeed. Fluth. Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming along. And we shall see you all in 2 weeks' time. In 2 weeks' time, we are talking to Red Grass Games about their Kickstarter. So on the 19th, we will be talking to them. Their Kickstarter goes live on the 20th. So we're talking about the new wet palette Kickstarter that they have with their new membranes and the new cool lights and things. And I'm very excited to have a chat with their sort of social media marketing manager about all the cool things that Red Grass Games doing. So I shall see you all in 2 weeks. Bye, everyone.
Bye.